Humanity had always been ambitious. Earth, a planet teeming with life and relentless determination, had risen from its fragmented past to become a contender in the galactic arena. The Galactic Empire, a sprawling, centuries-old coalition of advanced alien civilizations, had long held dominance over the known galaxy. It was an empire marked by arrogance, bureaucracy, and the assumption that no single species could challenge its supremacy. But humanity, new to the galactic stage, was different, restless, innovative, and fiercely united when provoked. The Galactic Senate was the center of power, a grand council where representatives from dozens of star systems convened. It was here that humanity sought recognition. Earth's diplomatic mission, led by an esteemed ambassador, was tasked with negotiating humanity's entry into this elite club. The stakes were monumental. Membership would secure trade routes, protection under interstellar law, and access to the Empire's advanced technology. For Earth, it was the culmination of years of effort, representing a leap from a fledgling species to a respected member of the galactic community. The ambassador, chosen for their wisdom and eloquence, was a symbol of humanity's hope. They arrived at the Senate carrying not just their credentials, but the collective dreams of their species. Yet, even as they walked the marble-like halls of the Empire's seat of power, signs of hostility were evident. Whispers from alien dignitaries hinted at disdain, their gazes heavy with condescension. To many in the Empire, humanity was nothing more than an upstart species, unworthy of standing as equals. The negotiations began on a tense note. The human delegation presented their case with logic and passion, outlining humanity's contributions to the galaxy, advances in energy systems, diplomatic peacekeeping in nearby systems, and their unparalleled adaptability to harsh environments. But the Empire's representatives responded with thinly veiled contempt. They questioned humanity's readiness, their primitive nature, and their ability to abide by galactic norms. Earth's ambassador countered each point with calm persistence, but the room remained cold. Tensions escalated when Earth's delegation proposed reforms to the Empire's trade policies, suggesting a fairer distribution of resources to emerging civilizations. To the Empire's leadership, this was an affront. For centuries, the Empire had operated on a system of exploitation masked as benevolence. Humanity's insistence on fairness was not just seen as naive, but as a direct challenge to the established order. The meeting ended abruptly, with the Empire's chancellor issuing a cryptic warning. Humanity should remember its place. Despite the tense encounter, Earth remained hopeful. The ambassador, undeterred, sought private meetings with sympathetic factions within the Senate. They believed diplomacy could still prevail, that humanity's sincerity and determination would win allies. But the Empire had other plans. It was during one of these private sessions that the unthinkable happened. The ambassador, along with their aides, was detained under false pretenses. Accusations of espionage were fabricated, painting Earth as a rogue state attempting to destabilize the Empire. In a swift and brutal act, the ambassador was executed publicly, beheaded on the steps of the Senate as a warning to anyone who dared challenge the Empire's authority. The event was broadcast across the galaxy. For Earth, it was not just an act of war, but a visceral insult, a statement that humanity's lives were disposable in the eyes of the Empire. The execution shocked the galactic community, but few spoke out. Fear of the Empire's wrath silenced dissent, leaving Earth to face the storm alone. The reaction on Earth was immediate and unified. Outrage swept across the planet, transcending political divisions. Nations that had once been rivals stood shoulder to shoulder, their differences forgotten in the face of this existential threat. The execution of the ambassador became a rallying cry, a symbol of the Empire's cruelty and arrogance. In cities and towns, millions gathered in protests and vigils, demanding justice. Leaders addressed their people with fiery speeches, vowing that humanity would not be cowed. This was no longer about diplomacy or trade agreements. It was about survival, dignity, and revenge. The message was clear. Earth would respond, and it would respond decisively. As the initial shock gave way to resolve, humanity began to prepare for what lay ahead. The outrage that followed the execution of the Diplomat united humanity in a way previously thought impossible. Nations that had once warred over ideology and resources now pooled their knowledge, technology, and manpower toward a singular goal: retaliation. Humanity's leaders knew that challenging the Galactic Empire, a civilization spanning hundreds of systems and countless species, would require more than rage. It would demand strategy, innovation, and an unyielding resolve. The call to arms was immediate and absolute. Governments enacted emergency measures, diverting vast resources into military research and production. Factories once producing consumer goods were repurposed to build warships, weapons, and automated drones. The media, driven by the horrifying image of the Diplomat's execution, galvanized public support. Artists, writers, and musicians contributed to a cultural narrative of defiance, with slogans like "No Mercy for Tyrants" and "The stars will be ours." A global council was formed to direct humanity's efforts, composed of scientists, military strategists, and political leaders. This council's first directive was clear. Humanity had to close the technological gap with the Empire. Years of studying alien technologies, smuggled or reverse-engineered from prior encounters, were suddenly accelerated. Breakthroughs in AI, nanotechnology, and energy manipulation were weaponized at an unprecedented pace. Humanity didn't just catch up, they innovated beyond what the Empire believed possible. Earth's shipyards became hubs of feverish activity. Traditional warships, outfitted with railguns and nuclear warheads, were supplemented by a new generation of stealth craft, invisible to conventional sensors. Swarms of autonomous drones, programmed with adaptive algorithms, were designed to overwhelm enemy defenses. Humanity's engineers also perfected experimental weapons, including gravity disruptors and directed energy cannons capable of tearing through the Empire's legendary shielding systems. But technology alone would not secure victory. Humanity's military leaders understood that fighting the Empire head-on was suicide. The Empire's fleets dwarfed Earth's armada in sheer size and firepower. To counter this imbalance, Earth strategists adopted asymmetric warfare. The focus was on exploiting the Empire's weaknesses, their complacency, rigid command structures, and reliance on centralized resources. Plans were drawn for targeted strikes on supply lines, communication hubs, and vulnerable outposts. These operations would sow chaos and force the Empire to spread its forces thin. Humanity's scientists developed viruses, both digital and biological, designed to disrupt the Empire's systems and incapacitate its soldiers. Spies and saboteurs, trained under brutal conditions, were dispatched to infiltrate the Empire's bureaucracy, gathering intelligence and planting seeds of dissent. The propaganda war was equally fierce. Messages were broadcast to oppress species within the Empire, urging them to rise against their overlords. Humanity framed itself as a liberator, a force fighting not just for revenge, but for the freedom of all who suffered under the Empire's rule. Slowly, cracks began to appear in the Empire's unity as rebellious whispers grew louder on its fringes. The first skirmishes were small but symbolic. A human fleet ambushed an Imperial convoy near a remote star system, seizing valuable supplies and destroying ships with precision strikes. Another raid targeted an Empire-controlled mining colony, where human operatives sabotaged production lines and evacuated enslaved workers. Each success emboldened Earth's forces, proving that the Empire was not invincible. The Galactic Empire, long accustomed to absolute dominance, was caught off guard. Their leaders dismissed humanity's actions as mere acts of defiance, believing that Earth could be crushed with minimal effort. But as losses mounted and reports of humanity's advanced weaponry spread, their arrogance began to falter. On Earth, these early victories ignited a wave of hope. Citizens, though acutely aware of the cost of war, rallied behind the cause with unshakable determination. Families volunteered their brightest minds to research and development programs. Entire communities devoted themselves to supporting the war effort, whether through building infrastructure, training recruits, or ensuring the steady flow of supplies to the front lines. Humanity's resolve was matched only by its ruthlessness. Leaders made it clear that there would be no compromise, no negotiation. The death of the Diplomat had drawn a line in the sand. Earth would fight until the Empire was broken or humanity was no more. This war was not just about survival. It was about proving that humanity was a force to be reckoned with, capable of defying even the most ancient and powerful civilizations in the galaxy. That humanity's retaliation escalated from targeted skirmishes to full-scale assaults, leaving the Galactic Empire scrambling to adapt. Earth's military campaigns were not just about inflicting damage, but reshaping the rules of engagement. The Empire, accustomed to open battles and overwhelming force, found itself unprepared for the ingenuity and unpredictability of its new adversary. The initial phase of Earth's offensive was characterized by relentless disruption. Stealth fleets slipped past the Empire's patrols, striking at critical supply depots, energy relays, and shipyards. These attacks crippled the logistical backbone of the Empire, creating bottlenecks in their ability to deploy reinforcements. Entire star systems that had been under the Empire's thumb for centuries suddenly found themselves isolated. Their reliance on Imperial resources turned against them. Each strike was meticulously planned, leveraging Earth's superior intelligence-gathering capabilities. Humanity's spies and reconnaissance drones provided real-time data, allowing precision attacks that maximized damage while minimizing human losses. The psychological impact on the Empire's forces was profound. Alien soldiers, who had grown complacent under the belief in their Empire's invulnerability, now faced a foe that struck without warning and vanished before retaliation was possible. One of humanity's greatest strengths was its ability to adapt under pressure. While the Empire relied on a rigid hierarchy that stifled creativity, Earth's decentralized command structure encouraged innovation. Commanders in the field were given autonomy to make decisions based on evolving conditions, allowing them to outmaneuver the slower, bureaucratic Imperial forces. Earth's military leaders also integrated AI systems into their decision-making, enabling rapid analysis of battle scenarios and the prediction of enemy movements. As the Empire's losses mounted, cracks began to form within its vast network. Alien species that had been subjugated by the Empire saw humanity's success as a beacon of hope. Rebellions broke out across dozens of star systems, further stretching the Empire's already strained resources. Earth's diplomats capitalized on these uprisings, offering support in exchange for alliances. While not all species trusted humanity's motives, many saw cooperation as their best chance for freedom. The Empire attempted to retaliate with overwhelming force, deploying fleets to crush the human resistance. But these efforts played directly into humanity's strategy. Earth's forces avoided direct confrontations, instead luring Imperial fleets into ambushes. Entire squadrons were led into asteroid fields and dense nebulae, where Earth ships, equipped with advanced cloaking technology, launched devastating surprise attacks. By the time the Empire realized the extent of the trap, their forces had been decimated. The battles themselves were brutal, showcasing the relentless determination of humanity. When Earth's fleets engaged the Empire head-on, it was with surgical precision and unparalleled ferocity. Alien admirals were baffled by the sheer efficiency of human tactics, which combined advanced weaponry with an almost primal instinct for exploiting weaknesses. Gravity-disrupting weapons disabled enemy capital ships, while swarms of autonomous drones overwhelmed point defenses, reducing even the most advanced Imperial vessels to debris. Humanity's resolve was unyielding, but it came at a cost. Entire planets were turned into battlefields, leaving scars that would take generations to heal. Civilian casualties on both sides mounted as the war dragged on. The Galactic Empire, increasingly desperate, resorted to brutal tactics of its own, targeting Earth's allies and neutral systems with reprisals. But these acts of cruelty only fueled humanity's anger, reinforcing their commitment to total victory. As the war raged on, the balance of power began to shift. Humanity's relentless assaults on the Empire's infrastructure had rendered large portions of their territory ungovernable. Trade routes collapsed, communication networks were in disarray, and morale among Imperial forces plummeted. What had once been a symbol of unassailable power was now a fragmented shell, struggling to hold itself together. The Empire's leaders, accustomed to ruling through fear, were unprepared for the full-scale collapse of their authority. Factions within the Empire turned on one another, blaming rival officials for their failures. The Central Command struggled to maintain control as governors and military leaders defected or declared independence. Humanity exploited this chaos, striking at key targets to accelerate the Empire's disintegration. Back on Earth, the successes in the field were met with both celebration and reflection. Humanity's leaders knew that their war effort had pushed their people to the brink. Resources were stretched thin, and the psychological toll of constant warfare was evident. Yet the belief in their cause never wavered. This war was not just about defeating the Empire. It was about ensuring that no power would ever again underestimate or threaten humanity. The Galactic Empire, once the unchallenged ruler of the galaxy, was now on its knees. Its fleets, once numbering in the thousands, were reduced to scattered remnants. Entire star systems had fallen into rebellion or anarchy. And yet, humanity's leaders knew the war was far from over. The final blow would need to be decisive, leaving no doubt that Earth had risen as a force that could not be denied. The final phase of the war unfolded with relentless intensity. Humanity, emboldened by its string of victories, prepared for the ultimate confrontation with the Galactic Empire. The Empire's core systems, heavily fortified and thought to be impenetrable, were now within Earth's reach. The War Council on Earth knew that this final assault would define the galaxy's future. It would not just be a battle for survival, but a statement of humanity's unyielding resolve and its rightful place among the stars. The first step in Earth's plan was to dismantle the Empire's remaining defenses systematically. Intelligence gathered from defectors and captured data revealed the locations of key installations, shield generators, fleet staging areas, and communication hubs. These targets were hit with precision and ferocity. Earth's fleets, equipped with the latest in stealth and energy disruption technology, bypassed traditional defenses and struck deep within enemy territory. Entire defensive networks were neutralized in hours, leaving critical systems exposed. The Empire's leadership, desperate to regain control, mobilized its remaining forces for a last stand. The once mighty fleets of the Empire now relied on outdated tactics and fractured command structures, a stark contrast to humanity's agile and adaptive strategies. Earth's commanders, bolstered by advanced AI systems and real-time data analysis, orchestrated a series of coordinated strikes that dismantled the Empire's resistance piece by piece. The chaos within the Empire's ranks grew as communication breakdowns and internal dissent further weakened their ability to respond effectively. As Earth's forces closed in on the Empire's capital, the galaxy watched with bated breath. The capital, a massive planet-sized station known as Solemn Primus, was the heart of the Empire's power. It housed not only the central government, but also its largest fleet and most advanced military technology. Humanity's plan was audacious, a direct assault on the capital that would eliminate the Empire's leadership and bring the war to a definitive end. The battle for Solemn Primus was unlike anything the galaxy had ever witnessed. Earth's fleets, now numbering in the thousands, engaged the Empire's remaining forces in a brutal contest of firepower and strategy. Massive capital ships clashed amidst fields of autonomous drones and swarms of smaller fighter craft. Planetary defenses unleashed a torrent of energy weapons, but Earth's ships, equipped with cutting-edge shielding and evasive AI systems, weathered the storm. On the ground, human operatives launched daring infiltration missions, targeting key facilities within the capital. Their objectives were clear: disable the Empire's command infrastructure and neutralize its leaders. These operatives, trained to perfection and equipped with the best technology Earth could offer, operated with precision and ruthlessness. Every move was calculated to maximize impact and minimize casualties, ensuring that humanity's forces maintained their momentum. The turning point came when Earth's flagship, the Resolute Dawn, managed to breach the Empire's central command station. A strike team, composed of humanity's best soldiers and led by a legendary commander, stormed the control room. The Empire's leaders, long accustomed to issuing orders from a position of untouchable authority, found themselves cornered. After a brief but decisive confrontation, the surviving members of the Empire's high command surrendered. The fall of Solemn Primus marked the collapse of the Galactic Empire. Across the galaxy, the news spread like wildfire. Systems that had long suffered under Imperial rule celebrated their liberation, while those still loyal to the Empire realized the futility of resistance. Earth's forces, though battered and weary, stood victorious. The unthinkable had been achieved. The greatest power the galaxy had ever known had been brought to its knees by the determination of a single species. Back on Earth, the celebrations were tempered by the staggering cost of victory. Millions had sacrificed their lives, and the scars of war were visible in every corner of the planet. Cities rebuilt their infrastructure, families mourned their lost loved ones, and leaders grappled with the enormity of the galaxy they had inherited. Yet amidst the grief and exhaustion, there was an overwhelming sense of pride. Humanity had proven itself not just as a survivor, but as a force capable of shaping the galaxy's future. The aftermath of the war brought both challenges and opportunities. With the Empire's collapse, a power vacuum threatened to plunge the galaxy into chaos. Earth's leaders moved quickly to establish a new order. A coalition was formed, composed of liberated species and independent systems, united under the principles of mutual respect and cooperation. Humanity, though the driving force behind this coalition, sought to avoid the mistakes of the Empire. Rather than imposing its will, Earth positioned itself as a guide and ally, earning the trust of its new partners. The lessons of the war were not forgotten. Humanity understood that power alone was not enough to secure lasting peace. Efforts were made to rebuild not just Earth, but the galaxy as a whole. Resources were allocated to aid war-torn systems, and diplomatic channels were established to foster understanding between species. Earth's scientists and engineers turned their attention from weapons to infrastructure, creating technologies that would benefit all. Yet even in this new era of hope, humanity remained vigilant. The scars of the war served as a reminder of the cost of complacency. Earth's fleets, though no longer engaged in active combat, maintained their readiness, ensuring that no threat, whether from remnants of the Empire or new adversaries, could catch humanity unprepared. The war with the Galactic Empire had reshaped humanity forever. It had forged a unity and determination that transcended the divisions of the past. Humanity's ascent to the stars was no longer a question of possibility, but of inevitability. The galaxy had learned a lesson it would never forget. Earth would not bow, and humanity would always rise, no matter the odds.